Someone asks you a simple question. Where were you last night? And for 1/10 of a second, before you even decide what to say, your body already knows what you are about to do. Your pulse shifts, your pupils move, a muscle near your eye twitches in a way you cannot control. You have not spoken a single word yet, but the lie has already begun. This is not a story about liars. This is a story about you. Because every human being lies. Studies estimate the average person tells 1 to 2 lies a day, and most of them are so small you forget them by lunch. But the 7 seconds before any lie, big or small, follow a pattern written into your body long before you learn to speak. To understand why, you have to go back to a time before language existed at all. For most of human history, deception was not a moral failing, it was a survival tool. Anthropologists studying primate behavior have long noted that great apes deceive each other constantly, hiding food, faking injuries, misdirecting rivals. Deception requires a specific kind of intelligence. You have to understand what another mind believes and then manipulate that belief. Psychologists call this theory of mind, and it is one of the most complex tools your brain has ever built. Here is the strange part. The same brain circuitry that lets you lie is the same circuitry that lets you feel empathy. They are not opposites. They are the same machine, running in 2 directions. So what actually happens in your body in the 7 seconds before you lie? The psychologist Bella DePaulo, who spent decades studying deception at the University of California, Santa Barbara, found something that surprised even her. Liars do not act the way people expect. There is no universal tell, no single twitch that gives everyone away. What DePaulo found instead was a shift in effort. Lying takes more mental work than telling the truth because your brain has to invent a false version of events, keep it consistent, and monitor how you are being perceived, all at the same time. That extra effort shows up in the body before it shows up in the words. In those first seconds, your amygdala, the small almond-shaped structure deep in your brain responsible for detecting threat, activates almost immediately. It does not know the difference between a predator crouched in the grass and a person about to ask you an uncomfortable question. To your amygdala, both situations mean the same thing. Danger. Prepare. Your heart rate often rises slightly. Your breathing shortens. Blood moves subtly away from your face and toward your muscles, a leftover instruction from ancestors who needed to run or fight, not talk their way out of trouble. This is why some people go pale before a lie and others flush red, depending on how their particular nervous system routes that blood flow. Meanwhile, your eyes are doing something almost nobody notices in real time. Researchers studying eye movement and cognitive load have found that pupil dilation increases measurably during deceptive tasks, a response tied directly to mental effort rather than emotion. Your pupils widen, not because you feel guilty, but because your brain is working harder than usual, juggling the truth you know and the story you are building to replace it. This is where popular culture gets deception wrong. You have probably heard that liars avoid eye contact. The data does not support this. In fact, some people maintain more eye contact when lying because they have learned, consciously or not, that avoiding eye contact looks suspicious. Deception is not one behavior. It is a moving target, shaped by what each person believes will make them look honest. So if there is no universal tell, why does this matter? Because the 7 seconds before a lie reveal something more important than whether someone is lying. They reveal how much your nervous system still treats social risk like physical danger. Think about the last time you told a small lie. Maybe you said you were busy when you were not. Maybe you said a meal was delicious when it was not. In that split second before the words left your mouth, your ancient threat system briefly treated the possibility of being disliked, doubted, or exposed as if it were the same as being hunted. Your ancestors evolved in small groups where social standing was not a minor inconvenience, it was survival. Being cast out of the group could mean starvation or death. Your brain still has not fully updated that math, even though the modern consequence of a small lie is usually nothing more than mild awkwardness. This is also why telling the truth, especially an uncomfortable truth, often feels physically harder in the moment than lying does, even though most people know honesty is the better long-term choice. The short-term cost of truth, disapproval, conflict, vulnerability registers in your nervous system as an immediate threat. The long-term cost of a lie, the one that could unravel weeks or months later, does not register at all in that first second, because your ancient wiring was never built to calculate consequences that far ahead. It was built to survive the next 30 seconds. Consider how this plays out today, far beyond formal interrogations or courtroom dramas. Every day, in ordinary conversations, you make quick calculations without realizing it. Do you tell your friend their idea is not very good? Do you tell your boss you missed a deadline because you were tired, not busy? Do you tell a partner exactly how you feel, even if it might start an argument? Each of these moments activates a smaller, quieter version of the same 7-second sequence. Threat detection. Effort. A choice made faster than conscious thought. And here is the modern mirror that makes this stranger still. Digital communication has changed the timing of this ancient system without changing the system itself. When you text instead of speak, you buy yourself more than 7 seconds. You can pause, edit, delete, rewrite. Researchers who study online deception have found that people report lying more often in text-based communication than in face-to-face conversation, partly because the immediate physical stakes, the widened pupils, the racing heart, the eye contact someone might notice, disappear behind a screen. The body's ancient alarm system is still there. It is just no longer visible to the person receiving the message, which means the 7 seconds have not vanished. They have simply moved somewhere no one else can see them. So the next time you feel that flicker of tension before saying something you are not entirely sure is true, pause for a moment before continuing. That feeling is not weakness, and it is not proof that you are a bad person. It is a signal, thousands of years old, telling you that some part of you still believes social exposure is as dangerous as physical harm. It is not. Not anymore. But your body has not caught up yet, and until it does, that same jump in your chest will keep firing every time truth and safety seem to be at odds. Someone asks you a simple question. Where were you last night? And in the 7 seconds before you answer, an ancient survival system quietly decides whether you feel safer with the truth or safer without it.